I'm Zandy Wong. I am a second year Hawk Center tutor, and today's my last day of high school, so I guess I'm a Hayfield alumni now. But I am part of the Hayfield class of 2020, and I will be heading to Johns Hopkins in the fall. Oh, and here's my lanyard. I managed to save it from school, so I'm really glad I saved it. Um, but I'm here to talk to you about college essays and the admissions process, and I know it pretty well because I've tutored a lot of essays in the Hawk Center, and I've also tutored essays from around the world. I've tutored essays helping people get into college from Canada, Somalia, California, Brazil, and there's a couple other places. And my most proudest accomplishment college essay, like tutoring wise, is that I recently just helped a student from California get into the Questbridge summer program. So I was really excited for him. But yeah, so I'm excited to show you what I know, especially since I'm a student that just went through the process. So I'm hoping that I can offer you guys some good tips. Cool. Welcome class 2021. That's you guys, my rising seniors or already seniors by the time you watch this. We're so excited to have you, and I'm just here with this message to tell you that I was just like you last year. I was a frantic, very nervous, worried about the future junior, and I had no idea where I wanted to end up or if I was going to get in anywhere. So I'm here to tell you that it worked out okay for me, and it worked out okay for my friends, and even if you don't get into your first or your second choice, you'll end up where you're supposed to be. Things happen for a reason, and I know you'll end up where you're supposed to be. So that's just that. So you're going to do great. So hopefully this helps you de-stress a little bit and get you prepared for the process. So, topics for today. What is a Common App? Teacher Rex. Tips for applying to college and exploring the ambiance. Timeline for college applications. Essay tips and sample essays. So, what is a Common App? The Common App is a form of online application that can send to colleges who accept it. It is reusable. So, once you fill it out once, you can send that same info out to 20 plus schools. Although college applications do get very expensive very fast. So you can, if you qualify for a fee waiver, so if you have like an SAT or an ACT fee waiver, you automatically, or a free reduced lunch, you automatically qualify for a fee waiver, and you can ask Miss Ferguson about that. It also includes a portal for recommenders to submit their writing and for students to submit their information and essays. So it's a place where you can upload your letter of recommendation. Check out Ms. Ferguson's videos for more information about that. And we also want to emphasize that not all schools use a Common App. One major example being Virginia Tech, which uses the Coalition app, and that's pretty similar as well. But just keep that in mind when you're applying. And so, how to set up your Common App. So you're going to go to this link, https apply Common App, log in. And so click create an account and be prepared to enter personal information. Don't use any nicknames and use a personal account, email account, not Google, to create this account. And follow the instructions to proceed. So this is going to be where you're going to put all your information in. Teacher Recs, who to ask and how to ask. So a teacher rec is really important because colleges want to see how you collaborate with your peers or how you do in a classroom setting and what kind of person you are, what will you bring to the table. So teacher recs are the best place to do this. So who to ask? Ask a teacher from junior year who knows you well and seen your hard work, even if you didn't get the best grade in his or her classes. So usually a junior year teacher is best because they've had you the most recently and they know who you are right now or 2 months ago, which is close enough for this. And they want to be someone who has seen you work hard in their class, and even if you didn't get an A or a B, as long as you worked hard and like paid attention and just shown up to class, and they'll be able to write something that will help you out. They want to help you out, and they'll tell you no if they don't want to write it. So just ask them. And one question I get is, what if I'm not like a star student or a student that like kisses up to teachers? It'd be like, they'll still write it for you. If you have paid attention and worked hard, they'll want to help you out because teachers love to see their students succeed. So just ask them. And how to ask them right now? Right now, email is the best option. Just shoot them a quick email. Be like, hey, I'm your student from junior year. I was in this class. And talk about maybe a project or something like that you did. And emphasize what personal characteristics that you want them to feature in your letter of recommendation, and make sure you send them deadlines and how to get all logged in to Common App, because there's a lot of deadlines for colleges, so just keep track of that. And afterwards, don't forget to give them a thank you note or a little gift, or just send a thank you email. I'm not really sure how all this is going to work in the fall, but just send them a thank you note. They'll really appreciate it, and they want to see where you're going to head off to next. Emailing. This is a template. And another note we put down was try not to email through your school Google account. So, try not to email through your school Google account. Ooh, cool highlighter. So you'll be using your personal email more, and college stuff doesn't get through the school Google firewall. So just like either use a personal account, or even better yet, create a whole new Gmail account just for college stuff, because there's a lot of college spam or college notes that you don't want to miss, and it'll be better if you have somewhere easier to organize it in. Alright. So, tips for applying to college. First, narrow down your list of colleges you want to apply to. So basically this is just saying that you don't want to be a serial applier and apply to 20 schools, because you can really only go to one. So here are some tips for narrowing down your list. Consider virtual tours, info sessions, or contact a current student. So when I visited my college for the first time, like when I was actually on campus, I knew then, like that was the moment it hit me that I knew I wanted to go to that school. So if you have the chance to visit, maybe like just do a drive-by tour, then go ahead and do it. But right now, virtual tours and info sessions are the best way to learn more about the college. Or contact current student, especially for in-state students. I'm sure we have many happy Hayfield alumni be happy to share about their college experience and more about the college that they are at. And some criteria for figuring out what college you want to apply to. There's a lot of criteria, but the most important criteria is in my opinion, is cost. You don't want to be spending way too much for an undergraduate degree. You don't want to end up in 100K debt. That's not worth it at all, unless it's like some really lucrative deal, but everything's kind of in shambles right now. So pick cost. Make sure you can afford it. I have seen students apply to college and get into their dream school or their first choice school, and then they're broken because they can't afford it, and it really sucks to see this happen. So make sure you can afford it. Location. So if your parents want you to be close to home, don't go too far away from home. And we're lucky enough to live in Virginia, so there are amazing options such as UVA, Virginia Tech, and William & Mary that have a trifecta of options you can look at. And campus size. This also goes with fit and prestige in general. So campus size is like the idea, do you want a big college environment, or do you want to go to a school where you know your classmates and your teachers really well? So you want like the football culture or like liberal arts culture, or something like that in between. Does it have your major? So some schools specialize in one thing, some schools are not so strong in another thing. So make sure that it has what you want, and it has advising and career options and career offices to be available for that. Acceptance rate and prestige. So prestige does play a big part into when people are applying to college. They do want to say that they want to go to this and that school, but realistically, you should apply to schools that you're going to be happy with and that you can afford. And so prestige is like all relative for someone. So don't go chasing something that's really, really unattainable for you. And that goes with the acceptance rate. Some schools have a really low acceptance rate. You want to apply to schools that you know you're at least in the 25 to 75% range for SAT, ACT, GPA. So you have a shot of getting into there. And so use Naviance to your advantage. Ms. Ferguson can talk more about this, but they have amazing scattergrams and course requirements. So scattergrams are where you'll see how students from Hayfield with these certain stats, either they got in or they didn't get in, but you can see if they did and how many people apply. And then requirements. So some courses consider like your curriculum. Actually, curriculum is very much considered. They want to see that you're well-rounded and have an education, all these sort of things. All right, next one. More tips. 1. Pace yourself, aka don't panic. Don't leave your essays or ask for teacher recs to the last minute. We have a timeline for you already to see for this. Decide if you want to apply EA, ED, rolling, or regular decision. And these are all application rounds. So rolling is basically like they will give you can apply in August, and they'll come back to you and be like, hey, we already got your decision done, so we'll just give it to you now. So you can apply in August and get back to it in 2 weeks. So I was lucky enough to apply to University of South Florida, and I applied in August, and they got back to me by November. So like even before I had even finished like all my apps, I was able to know that I had gone in somewhere and I'd be heading somewhere in the fall. And then let's look at the rest of these. ED, I'm gonna highlight this. Is it highlighted? ED. Oh, whoops, wrong pen. This pen. ED is early decision. Alright. So, early decision. So, it says apply by November 1st and sign the ED agreement. You can only apply ED to one school. Make sure you do that. If you apply to 2 schools, it's irrelevant. And it's not worth anything. But anyways, so apply ED to one school and know that you would 100% love to attend that school and you can afford it. So this should be like your dream school, the school that you've been thinking about for years and years, or you know that would be just a great fit for you and your major and what you want to do with yourself for the next 4 years. And make sure you can afford it because they offer financial aid right then. And if it's not enough, you can back out of the agreement, but it's very hard to back out of the agreement. And so you'll get your decision early December. So for me, that was a happy Christmas gift. And so let's talk about the other rounds. EA, early action. Let me highlight it. EA's early action. So you usually apply by November 1st or December 1st. This is most of you Hayfield kids use this option to apply to schools like Virginia Tech, UVA, JMU, etc. So the great part of it is that you'll get your decision early. It'll be in by January or February. And the other great part about it is that it's non-binding. So if you get in, you don't have to attend. You can review all your other options and get back to them, see if you want to attend. So yeah, just it's non-binding. So that's the great part about it. And the other one that I'm going to highlight, regular decision. So this is, oh shoot, my highlighting sucks. But regular decision. This is for students who need more time on their apps or want to get a strong first semester in. So it says apply by January 1st and you'll get your decision by February or March, and it's non-binding. So the gist with this is that you'll apply, you'll send in your stuff, and the great part about this is if you didn't have that strong of a junior year and you make it up, like you get really good grades in senior year, like your first semester grades are like all A's and you're really proud of it, you should definitely apply regular decision because it will help you, because you'll see that you've rebounded from junior year or just like continue succeeding in general. So if you need more time on your apps and you want to show off your senior year grades, this is the one for you. Alright. Stay organized. So we have this awesome spreadsheet here. It has, the link is right here, and I'm sure Ms. Postino has a link out here somewhere, but you can fill in your school, your app deadline, your app fee, and then you can just make sure you check it all off. So when I was applying, before I applied, people told me it was like an 8th class. Like you have 7 classes, 7 classes, and the 8th one that you have senior year is college apps. And when I was going through that, it was definitely an 8th class. It was very stressful. It took up a lot of my time. And it was just like a lot of uncertainty. It's like, am I going to get in? Am I not going to get in? So staying organized is the best way to know that you put your best foot forward. You can go forward and realize that whatever the college does, it's out of your hands because you already put in your best effort. So stay organized. We got a template here for you to use. Next one, Naviance. So in Naviance, you can find scholarships, research colleges, use a resume builder, and check transcript progress. And so Ms. Ferguson has more videos on this, but I want to touch on checking transcript progress. So when you apply to college, I'm not sure how this is going to work in the fall because normally send a physical transcript, but you coordinate with your counselor. And I remember talking to my counselor, and I thought he had sent my transcripts, but turns out he didn't. I didn't know that until a day before the deadline. And I love my counselor, I love Mr. Gilmore, but that was just like a miscommunication effort. So if I had checked on Naviance to see if my transcript had been sent, then I would have been okay. But so use Naviance to your advantage and check your transcript and use all the amazing resources there. Timeline of college apps. So we're gonna go over this. June, what you can do now. It's June, yay, summertime. Well, you got stuff to do. So you got to ask teacher for recommendations. You want to give them some time to write the letter. Finish off the year strong with good grades, because junior year is the 1 year that you can, the last full year of schooling, and start brainstorming ideas for Common App essays. So we'll be covering that a little bit later. Make a list of schools. It can be big, so just like put down what you want and find schools that match that criteria. I know I started with 20 schools and I eventually got it down to 5 to 8 schools. So you don't want to be a serial applier. July, enjoy time with family. It is your second to last summer at home with family before you head off to college and stop being a kid. So just enjoy it while you have it. Work on Common App essays, so start narrowing down those ideas and start maybe making a first draft. I know for me, I worked on my Common App essay. I started in April of 2019 and I finished in October of 2019, so it was definitely a labor of love and a lot of effort went into it, but I just want to put my best foot forward. Do something productive. Working, volunteering, new hobbies, studying for ACT, SAT. So we don't really know what's going on in the fall, but there's still ways you can be active virtually or just like helping out with family. That would be helpful. And this PowerPoint isn't really going to focus on what you can do to prepare for college apps because there's only so much you can control. You can control your essays, your teacher recs, and maybe some activities, but that's pretty much it. You can't control your family background, your family circumstances, your grades up till this point, and your activities. That opportunity is gone. But you can control what we're talking about now, and I just want you to put your best foot forward. And start narrowing down your list of schools. So, knock off some schools that make no sense. August, start filling out the background info in Common App. So that includes stuff like social security number, birth date, family info, where you live, stuff like that. You can actually fill this out earlier. The Common App is already open, but it will roll over and update itself on August 1st. So it opens August 1st. That's when it's just going to be the new update. And work on that Common App essay. Yeah, it's a good time to work on it because you're still not swamped with senior year stuff yet. Start drafting supplemental essays. My tip for supplemental essays is to get to the point. You may only have like 100 to 250 words, but it's great if you get to the point. And if it's why this college or like why Virginia Tech, wait, they don't have that essay. But anyways, if it was like why Virginia Tech, emphasize what you would add to the campus, not what, and combine it with what Virginia Tech has to offer that will allow you to continue being that awesome person who would be on campus. Check out Naviance for scattergrams and info from Miss Ferguson. That's kind of covered, but it's right there. Let's see what else. More time on college apps. Alright, September. Start school strong. You want to be keeping up with those senior grades. Finish up Common App essay. So you want to get a good start on that essay. Find something that resonates with you and write about it. Right, supplemental essay, we talked about that. Check in with teacher recommendations. So you may have asked them back in June or August. Just make sure that they got started on it and make sure they have the instructions that they need to upload to Common App because that's a little confusing sometimes. It can go to the wrong email. Check out virtual visits for schools. So if you're uncertain of where you're going to apply, check out that. Oh, and so for students that might qualify, there are also programs called fly-ins. These are basically like free programs where a private college wants you to come in and they'll give you like money, they'll pay for your airplane ticket, and I got into one, and it was a great experience. So if you can take advantage of that, go take advantage of that because they'll treat you well, and you'll probably have an easier time getting to school because they already know you came. In October, file the FAFSA. So that is the Federal Aid Free Student Aid, I think, form. It basically asks you all about tax information, how much your family makes, etc. It's the #1 document that colleges use to determine your financial aid eligibility. So the earlier you file it, the better. It opens on October 1st. Finish up standardized testing. I'm not really sure how that's going to look right now because everything's so up in the air right now. Like online testing, all that fun stuff. And a lot of schools are going test optional. Like William, Mary, and Virginia Tech are going test optional. And JMU is already test optional. So you may not have to take the test. But if you are going to take your ACT, SAT, or SAT subject test, please get them done by October or September to make sure you aren't stressing out about that because essays is another stressor on itself. So if you don't have to worry about the testing, that's enough. Because I remember I tested 4 times from February to October, and that was just a stressful time. So we don't want you stressing out, so get it done early. Get your transcript sent. Make sure it's sent. Press submit. It is hard to say it is hard to submit because, like, it's the last moment you can control something. But you can do it. I know you already put your best foot forward, and submit it. Finish first quarter strong. Make sure you have good grades. November, check that your transcript got sent. That's self-explanatory. Work on regular decision apps. Now you have more free time. Work on regular decision apps. Make sure that they're all in for December or January. Make sure financial aid forms are turned in. So FOSTA we talked about. That's like the first step. But if you want to apply to like a private university that has a little bit more money, like for example, like Northwestern has like donor money that they have accumulated over and over the years that they can give to students as financial aid, they need to know more information about your circumstances. So you will also have to turn in the CSS and the IDOC. So those are on College Board. They cost a little bit to send, but if you need fee waivers, Ms. Ferguson can help you with that. And keep up with your grades. Keep going strong. Timeline of college apps. More college app stuff. December, January. Celebrate any early decision, early action acceptances. Be proud of it. Tell your teachers. I'm sure they will love to hear. Tell your family. I'm sure they'll love to hear. Turn in regular decision apps. Don't forget to press submit. Finish second quarter strong. Make sure if you're applying regular decision that your apps or that your grades all good and your apps all good as well. Send teacher thank you notes. We already talked about that. Find scholarships. Oh, so this is where I wanted to know. You can find scholarships on Naviance, but competition for scholarships is crazy. So I think the best way to earn scholarship money is to look at institutional value. So some schools, like if you apply there and you fit like a certain profile, like you have this much of a GPA or this much of an SAT, ACT score, or you're like involved in community service or you play an instrument, those are some examples. They'll throw money at you. So for example, I applied to University of South Florida and they gave me $48,000 just for applying because they were like, yes, we want you here, because they want these amazing students that we have from Hayfield to come help elevate and make the college community there even better. And so another school gave me like $84,000 just for applying. So it's a good chunk of money. So if you want to apply to a school, just know that there are schools out there that want you and will throw money at you to get in. Turn in financial aid docs. That's self-explanatory. February and March, celebrate any early action regular decision acceptances. Yeah, be proud of it. You deserve it. Even if you feel like you didn't deserve it, the AdComs picked you for a reason. That they saw that you would be a good fit, and you deserve any minute of it. Even if you think there's someone out there better, they decided you were better, and you should just trust the process and go with it. Apply for scholarships. Look at Naviance for that. There's a lot of Hayfield local scholarships. Send teachers thank you notes. Make sure that they know where you're going in the fall, because they'd love to celebrate you. Relax, you're almost done. That's what I thought until my year got canceled, but I hope that doesn't happen for you guys. I hope something happens better. And then April and May, put down a deposit. May 1st usually decision day, so put down your deposit and attend there. And attend open houses. So this is just like free stuff. They'll give you free swag. They'll let you stay overnight for free. So since you're paying their tuition next year, just do it. I'm sure it's a great experience. I had fun even at my virtual one. I got to play Johns Hopkins trivia with 400 of my newest classmates. It's great. Celebrate on decision day. Celebrate. You deserve to be proud of your hard work over the past 4 years. Apply for scholarships. Keep applying. A lot of them open in April. Finish senior year strong. Make sure your grades don't drop. They will rescind you for C's or D's. B's might be a little iffy. You can talk to your counselor about that, but they will rescind you for D's, C's, and F's. Maybe not for C's. Definitely D's and F's, though. Enjoy senior activities. You deserve it, and hopefully you guys get to experience that. I didn't get to experience that, and it's a bit of a bummer, but I hope you guys get to experience that. Oh, right, let's see what else we have. Additional resources. So Miss Ferguson and your teachers are around, but they have a lot of students to deal with. So if you want individualized help, I'm going to highlight this. You can check out UStrive. So this is where I worked with, basically it's a free online mentoring platform powered by Deloitte that helps high school students through the college admissions process. So they have adults and people who have been through the process and are using their free time to help you guys out. So you get matched one-on-one with a mentor, and they'll stick with you for as long as you need it. So my mentor, Melissa, she helped me edit my college essay, and she helped me find scholarships and just like reassured me through the process, because I was really worried the whole time. And yeah, they'll help you out a lot, and they'll be able to provide that one-on-one support that Miss Ferguson isn't always able to provide because she's working with 400 plus students, so yeah. And Raise Me, I'm going to highlight this as well. Raise Me is a way to earn micro scholarships. So there's like hundreds of schools on here that they want to give you money. So you can go to the site and get an account and plug in your grades and your activities, and you can see how much money you can accumulate. For example, they'll give you like an A for a 500. They give you $500 for an A, or like $600 because you play a sport or you've shown leadership in school or you filled out the FOFSA. So it's really great to see that schools will work with you if you want to get aid or merit aid of any sort, and they want you to attend. Here's what they're looking for in essays. So this is the fun part. Alright, so they want to see evidence of writing skills. They want to see something that cannot be interpreted from a transcript. So they want to see that you are a real, relatable person. That's what I'm just going to leave it at. So take what you learn in English class and apply it. But college essays are a lot different than any other English class time. We'll get into that more detail later. Insight into your personality. So the stats that they see are your SAT score, ACT score, GPA. They don't see who you are as a person, and the essays are the best way to do that. So it gives you purpose. It gives you context to why you are doing what you're doing, or what your background is to how you work today. And we're really proud to see that. So you should go show it off, and you can pretty much write about whatever. And your reasons for applying to school. So you want to see that you're genuinely excited. They don't want to see that as like, oh, she just threw another app or her last choice. Be excited and continue to show interest in applying to that school. Next, common app essay topics. You can look at this by yourself. It is one personal essay from 250 words to 650 words, and you can write about pretty much whatever. The topics are the same as last year. The most common topic that kids choose is the first one, which is talk about a background, interest, hobby, identity, I think, that you have and how it has shaped you. So it's really easy to branch off into pretty much anything. There are seven essay topics, so you'll be able to find one that works for you. Alright, common essay topics and why they are overdone, aka cliche. So some common, aka overdone essay topics include volunteering, especially volunteering abroad. So some common themes for this essay include I changed someone's life, or volunteering helped me realize the privilege in my life. So they're overdone because 1, a lot of kids write about them. 2, it just shows that you have privilege and that you have advantages that other people don't. So even though volunteering is a great essay, it is overdone because a lot of kids do it, and it may backfire on you because it may come off the wrong way. And so another one that's kind of bad one to do is a resume accomplishment essay. So they can get this from your activity section. So an example would just be like, they would just be like, oh yeah, I am the president of the chess club. And then they just talk about that, but they don't really delve into that, like why chess made them as a person, or why students, why they don't delve into the why, and they just splat it all down there, and it's not good. So don't do that. It doesn't show any insight into who you are as a person. Sports essay, which can be substituted with any other activity that's not sports related. Some common themes for this essay include what I learned in sports, a time I failed in sports, etc. Cliche. So, I know a lot of students at Hayfield are athletes, and we are proud of your athletic accomplishments. But if you write an essay on sports, it's got to be a really good one. So there's a lot of ways you can go with it, and of course you can write an essay in sports, but just warning you, it could be cliche because a lot of students try to write a meaningful essay in sports, and it's kind of hard to do. So also one other essay topic that I wanted to talk about is hardship. We've all experienced some sort of hardship in our life, whether that be mental health, family circumstances, etc. It's okay to write about trauma, but you don't have to put your trauma out there to have a good essay. There's so much more to you than your trauma. I wrote about something that was hard in my life, and it became a good essay, but when I was writing about it, it was really hard to write about. I would just write, and it'd be just really hard for me to read because I would start tearing up, and because it had only happened a few months before. But it's this idea of there's so much more to you than your trauma. So if you are choosing to, but really trauma and your hardships can really show how much you've overcome and how much of a stronger person you are. So if you are writing about trauma, if you are writing about hardship, don't dwell in the sadness. I put this quote down here: show me the phoenix, not the ashes. So the ashes would be your hardship, and the phoenix would be the transform, even better person you are now. So make sure that you emphasize that you made it through this trauma, that it was hard to handle, but you are a stronger, even better person. And of course, I'm so proud of you for doing this. And so pretty much you can write about anything. These are some common themes that I see that are pretty common. So yeah, we're gonna move on to how to brainstorm. So this is basically talking about how to brainstorm a topic. I knew which topic I wanted to talk about immediately because it was so central and near to my heart, but there's a lot you can write about. So I think the best way to brainstorm, well, I brainstorm by, I have a piece of paper and I write down ideas that resonate with me and I circle them and I circle connections and I do that. But that doesn't work for everyone. So we're going to talk about the ways that I think you should brainstorm. You can ask yourself questions. Colleges want to see what makes you tick, what your values are, and who you are as a person, and what that will add to their campus. Will add personality? Will that add drive? Will that add charisma? And so we want to brainstorm a topic that is central to you. So, some sample questions. They want to tell the story of a time you laughed so hard you cried. Which teacher made the biggest impact? When was the time you were most afraid? What was the most difficult decision you ever had to make? So these are like the hard questions. We often are afraid to talk about the things we aren't comfortable with, that aren't pretty in nature, but you don't have to do that all the time. It's good to see what makes you tick. And so then you can record yourself talking because we want it to seem natural. We know that you guys aren't 40-year-old English scholars. We know that you guys are just teens with different personalities and different perspectives. So we want you to sound like yourself when you're writing. I think that's really important when you write. Make sure you sound like yourself. But you'll find a topic just by talking and writing down a few things. Write down categories. Write down things people wouldn't know about you at first glance and categorize them. It's good just to see like what do you want featured on your app that isn't already featured in your activity section. And there are more questions here where my cursor is that help you get started on that. Alright, next, half ideas, aka more brainstorming tips. So remember I was talking about categories? We got a way to do this. So we want to take a meh cliche essay about sports or about something else and turn that into something unique, into something that gives you perspective. Because even if you are writing about sports, you can't just all be about sports, so there's so much more about your sports. I'm using sports a lot. Anyways, so the main idea is combining two ideas into one essay. So the first idea, I have ADHD. Second idea, I like to run. Essay idea, how running helps me deal with my ADHD. So it's this idea of putting two disparate subjects or categories or things that happen in your life that don't seem to have anything in common and somehow connecting them and forming something great out of that, and just shows what kind of perspective you have on that. And so how to do this. Write down as many ideas as possible and group them by category. Look for connections between ideas and sleep on it. So you want to like draw the dots between them. The Writing Center Choose will be happy to help you with that. And then choose combo of half ideas that resonates with you and write. So I think the best college essay topic to choose is something that you can talk about, something that resonates with you as a person, that really shows your values and what you believe in, and just go with that and run with it, and they'll be a good product. So you can read more about this idea of half ideas right here. Parts of a personal essay. So this is just a general like formula. Like when I wrote my essay, I thought about this a lot, but this generally works for what you're looking for. But of course, you can be creative as you want because people like creative essays. Oh, I wanted to go back to the other slide. Oh, okay, we're not going back to the other slide. So there was something else I wanted to say about topic-wise. Like half ideas, they can turn into really good essays. So my essay was a half idea, and then this other kid's essay I was working with was a really good essay. We were trying to come up with a topic, and he talked about his parents' divorce, and then I was like, oh, okay, what else do you do? He was like, I also do fundraising for a club, and we fundraise by selling cupcakes at this basketball game. And I was talking to him, and I was like, well, why did you sell these cupcakes when your parents were getting divorced? And so then he was like, yeah. And then so I was like, why don't we build up on this idea and say something about, like, the key line that we came up with is like, even though I couldn't bake and mend together my parents' marriage, like I couldn't make them happier with what I was doing, I was still able to make someone happier by baking the cupcake, like showing that even though he couldn't keep it, his parents' marriage was falling apart, um, he was able to still find solace in baking and making someone happy. And maybe that's not the best example, but it's an example that truly showed how resourceful you can be in situations like that. Anyways, back on to what this slide was saying. The hook is one part of a personal essay. It's probably going to get the reader really excited. So use a sentence or dialogue. We have some examples here. Context of the situation to describe how you got there. So example of your hook is about raking leaves. Like it's like crunch, crunch, crunch. Talk about like what raking leaves means to you and how you got there. Rise and fall. Add some tension or vulnerability. They are looking for the person behind this. So if you don't have to have like life-changing, heartbreaking vulnerability, but they want to see you that you have what it takes to realize your flaws and be relatable. They want to see the person you are, maybe something that they used to be when they were teens, and what you learned from this experience and story. So life lesson time. So my formula is, since X happened, I learned that Z is the best way forward. So example, as we're making it through the COVID-19 pandemic by sitting on the couch, I learned to never take things for granted. And so that's one example. So it's just like wrapping it up. And then end with imagery. They want to see what feeling is associated with imagery. So for example, I wrote an essay one time about barbecue. The feeling I wanted was happy, and the symbol, the imagery I had was this idea of smoking barbecue. So it was like I welled up in tears, something like that. It was just really happy and not like just saying the lesson outright. It was just a feeling expressed through imagery. So if you can do it, and if you're a skilled enough writer to do that. And also, what was the other thing? The other thing was, if you want to use humor, use it if you are good at it. If you're not good at it, don't worry about it. Don't try it. There are some very funny essays out there, but if you're not funny, it's not going to come off well. PSA, there is an optional section to the Common App. It's called the COVID-19 section. It is in addition to your additional information section, which already had 650 words for you to write about your circumstances. I think, I bet we're going to see a lot of essays on COVID-19, how that affected your life, but I would actually advise you not to write that because it's going to come off cliche, or it's not going to add anything new. So use this section to write about COVID-19, because you've lived almost 16 years up to this point without COVID. There's so much more to you as a person than COVID-19. And it is an unfortunate circumstance that we can't see each other and be in school together, and that people are dying, of course. But there is more to you than COVID-19. So I encourage you to use this COVID additional section to write about what has changed in your life since COVID-19 has happened, and then save your Common App essay for something that resonates with you outside of COVID-19. Alright, sample essays. So you can press on this link, or this link will probably be in the description, maybe. Maybe it's Ferguson to figure that out. And you can read some sample essays. One of the essays might look familiar if you have Mr. Hannon and Mrs. Hannon, because it's my essay. So I'm excited for you guys to read it, and if you have any feedback for me, that would be great. Just send it to Miss Ferguson. She'll let you know. But yeah, it was a great work of art. Or not work of art. It's just like it felt a great feeling to be able to write something so meaningful that showed me as a person. Wrap up and questions. So you have the sample essay, so you have some good examples of what to look for. There were some half ideas, there's some bad essays, there's some meta essays, but each person is unique, so I'm sure you'll be able to come with a good product. And I just want to leave you with, a college decision doesn't define you as a person. You are so much more amazing than what an AdCom decides if you're accepted or rejected. And really, a lot of college admissions, especially at the top schools, are all by chance. You deserve every success that you guys are going to get, and every hardship that you have overcome and made become a better person. You deserve all the accolades, and maybe it won't happen, but whether you're accepted or rejected, you are just an amazing person. So we're really proud of you, and we can't wait to see how you soar. So that's it from me. Signing off for now. I'm Zandy, second year Hawk Brain Center tutor, and now Hayfield alumni. So see you guys, and good luck.